And we're live. Everybody hear me? What's up, Eric? How are you, sir? All right, here we go. I'm dealing with a new Zoom setup, so please be gracious. Awesome. How's everybody doing? I hope everyone's had a great week. Hope everyone's been doing some good homework, putting in some hours, some calls. Awesome. If anybody has any questions, you can raise your hands. At the bottom of the screen, you hit reactions and raise hand, and we'll try to jump on to your questions. I can unmute you before when it's your turn to come up, okay? I can handle all of that. So welcome. We're going to be doing some Elephant Zoom recaps. All right. We talked, before we do Elephant Zoom recaps, I want to encourage you all to sign up for the next Elephant Zoom that's coming up, end of October, October 27th through the 30th. You can go to pacejmorby.com/invite to sign up, okay? pacejmorby.com/invite to sign up for the next Elephant Challenge, October 27th through the 30th. All right. Give me a second so I can admit some more people here. Awesome. Anybody have any questions, any wins they want to talk about and celebrate? How's calls been going to sellers, to agents, that sort of thing? Nobody's got anything? Anybody got anything they want to comp? I can see a few of the sub 2 students on here. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Appreciate it. Well, if no one has anything, I will do some of my own work. How about that? Jesse Stanton, Mr. Jesse himself, all the way from Alaska. Jeez, thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it. Well, let's do some elephant stuff. I'm going to share my screen. All right, I've been getting a lot of questions about, can we make some calls? People still pretty nervous about making calls to agents. Well, let's try to make some calls. Here's Privy. I'm in the San Antonio market, so can you all see my screen okay? Yep, I see some nodding. Awesome. Let me see how I can pull up the chat. I'm not sure if I can pull up the chat with this. There it is. Chat. Fantastic. Tori Rand is in here. I think Tori's in my market in San Antonio. All right, so I'm in San Antonio. San Antonio doesn't have great MLS access, but that won't stop us.
Hey Rob, how are you? Tori here.
Fantastic. Lovely to hear you.
Yes,
I added you to our group.
To hit the mute button undone, but I did it.
Awesome. Did you get into our group, our South Texas group?
I did just a couple hours ago.
Fantastic. We're having a meetup tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of short notice, but it'd be great if you could be there.
Of course. Details? Do you have details?
Yeah, DM me. DM me or
yeah, sure.
DM Stefan. He can hook you up. All right.
Yeah, for sure. I can do that.
It'd be great to have you out there.
Awesome.
Tori is a unicorn amazing agent.
I am a unicorn agent. Anybody have any questions about any properties or any comping? Definitely get at me. We can sweat up.
Tori, please put your handle in the chat so people can reach you,
Okay,
get to you
will do.
somehow. And please turn your camera on so we can see you.
I thought that's what you were gonna say.
There you are.
Okay.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So I'm in San Antonio.
Okay.
I'm in San Antonio and my buyers like to not have to do a lot of work. So I deal with buyers who are typically higher income individuals. So I come out of a medical background and I've worked in the operating room and I've owned assisted living facilities. And so a lot of the buyers who I work with are physicians and administrators and attorneys, that sort of thing. So what they're looking, they obviously don't have a lot of time in their day to be doing fix and flips. So they're looking for more turnkey options. And if I can bring them something creative, that makes them all warm and fuzzy inside. So what I typically do is when I'm looking, I'll look at on-market properties. I kind of live up in this northwest area of San Antonio. It is an area of San Antonio that is comprised of mostly A and B class properties and neighborhoods. Most of these neighborhoods in San Antonio are always like, you know, when they talk about top 10 neighborhoods and stuff like that, most of these neighborhoods fit that criteria. Would you agree with that, Tori? Oh, let me unmute you. There you go.
Yes, I do agree with that.
All right. So I like this big number here, 53. 53 is better than 1. So I'm going to zoom in on 53. And we try to make, we try to look for properties that are at or below median. We just find that typically makes rent work better. So median in San Antonio is about 350-ish, 340, somewhere in that ballpark, based on August's numbers. And so my screen is filled with little bars and everything, so I'm trying to move all of you around. I'm gonna hit filter up here. I'm on single family active properties. And I'm gonna set some criteria. I want minimum 3 beds, minimum 2 baths. Price, my top, I'll go up to 400,000. All right. Let's see if we can do days on market, ascending. Okay, that's fine. Let's start with that. So we've got a few that have come up. Okay. This one happens to be in my neighborhood. So let's take a look here. 380 is definitely a great price for this neighborhood. I'm pretty familiar with this neighborhood. I can see that it's a little bit lower than the other prices in this neighborhood. I bought my house at 400,000, so I know that's a pretty good price. I bought mine at 400,000 a year ago. Let's take a look. Obviously, there's not great pictures here because Privy doesn't have great MLS access in San Antonio. All right, let's see. I have owner information here. Building, great. Mortgage history. Looks like they have a 30-year loan at 6%. And they've had that loan for quite a long time, which means this is likely a high equity. Well, it looks to me like it's a high equity property. And it was listed in May. That is a long time ago. Tori, what do you feel like average day on market is in San Antonio right now?
The average what?
Average days on market.
Average day on market. Oh, I don't know. That's pretty hectic. It's not a lot. Uh,
So
going pretty quickly.
I was actually looking at this today. Let's look at SABOR, San Antonio Board of Realtor Statistics, market statistics. And there's a nice little, let's see, San Antonio market's the market I'm in. There's a nice little infographic, which is only up until August. So let's open this. Can you guys see this little graphic here? Fantastic. So this is a month old now. Average price per square foot, $188. This is all for realtors. I never look at like price per square foot. I don't use that ever. Days on market, 30-day. 6 days more than last year. Interesting. Median price, yeah, 340, about what we talked about. Months of inventory, 3 months. That's pretty good. I am amazed that San Antonio has 20% of the houses $500,000 and up. That is interesting. I wasn't expecting that. So this has been on the market since May. I wanna take a closer look at this property. It's in my neighborhood. Oh, off market. Why does this show it off market? Maybe it's sold. Let's go down, listing removed. So it looks like it's sold. So again, because Privy doesn't have great access to the MLS, let me just admit everyone trying to join. Because Privy doesn't have great access to MLS in San Antonio, sometimes things take a little bit longer to update within Privy. So this one is not good anymore. Let's look at this one. This is a lot. Not interested in a lot. If you guys have any questions or anything, you can raise your hands. Hit the at the bottom of the screen. Joe, talk to me, sir.
I've seen that when it says off market means that the listing expired. A real estate agent will be able to tell you if that listing expired.
Yes, you're right. Usually that is true. I'm under the impression this one sold because I was looking at the property history. Where was it? Right here. Price went, the property went contingent. There was a pending sale. And about a month later, the listing was removed. That's typically about what it takes for closing. So I'm really under the impression this property sold. You see how I got that?
Yeah, I see how you got it. Thanks.
Awesome.
Thanks
Of
for
course.
showing me that.
Yeah, of course. I have a lot of tabs open. I'm sorry about that. I just I'm one of those visionaries who have multiple things going in my mind all at once. All right, let's take a look. This is across the freeway from where I live, but it's still a very nice neighborhood. Ooh, this is really nice. 3-bed, 2-bath, single story. This is my kind of property. All right. Well, this also probably sold. August 22nd, a new mortgage was recorded. Looks like there was a transaction sold. All right, so I'm not even gonna bother with that one. Is this the one I just looked at? 7615. 7651. Oh, I thought that was throwing me off for a second. For sale. Mission Ledge. I have put an offer in on this property already. This property looks super familiar to me. I put an offer on this one already. And the seller is not interested in selling to me. For some reason, she doesn't like the way I look or something. I was trying to be nice to her. Let's keep looking. There's a lot of windows open. Okay. Wine Rose Path. I like this one too. This is also a property that has a 30-year mortgage at 5.9%, and they've had the mortgage since pretty much the house was new. This neighborhood was built in 2005, 2006. All the neighborhoods in this area were. Was listed in July, so it's not that old of a listing. But I'm interested in looking at it. Let's see if I can give them a call. There are quite a few people asking for help with calls, so let's try to do some calls. Michael Foster, sir, how can I help you? Hit unmute on your screen.
Oh, there we go. Can you guys
There
hear
you
me?
are. Yep.
Awesome, awesome. I just wanted to ask, do you ever try to talk to the homeowner yourself when it's on market?
I do if they're open to terms at all. Then I'll ask the agent if it's okay for us to jump on a call, all three of us together. And I'll try to pitch the terms myself.
Hmm. Okay. Awesome. And I would imagine that it's bad practice to skip trace the address and then just try and talk to the seller without going through the agent first, right?
You can do that. You're not gonna get high fives from the agent for that, for sure.
Hmm.
But you have to remember that they have a contract with the agent. And they
Hmm.
have to sell with the agent regardless,
Right.
right? So it's
Okay.
not like you can go around the agent and get a sale done and exclude the agent. That's not gonna
Okay.
happen. They're under contract.
Yeah,
Exclusive,
yeah.
right, exclusive right to the list.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I meant like I wasn't talking about going around the agent, but more so like if the agent's being difficult, but it's a property you really like. Um, I just kind of wanted to hear what your opinion was on that.
So if you come across a property you like and you wanna make an offer on it, I would suggest putting that offer in an email and sending it written. An agent is required to present every offer to the seller. They're required to. Now, does that always happen? No. Should it happen? Yes. But, you know, they're not always doing the best for their sellers. Not all the agents are awesome like Tori,
Hmm.
okay? Some agents are in it just for money and they don't care about the people they're trying to help, right?
Right.
You get it?
Okay.
So
Awesome,
yeah,
well, thank you.
I would put in an offer in writing. So when you're talking to the agent, be like, hey, I'd like to put in an offer. It's got two different options on it. One is an all cash offer at this price. And one is, an offer with terms. Can I get your email? I'll like to email it to you.
Okay, and like, I'd probably think then it'd be best practice not to give the offer verbally in that case and just email it to them that way.
I can almost guarantee you that your verbal offer will be ignored.
Okay,
I mean, unless you're off, it used to be, 6 months, a year ago, when you were making offers that were 20,000 over, a verbal offer was good enough and you signed a contract. Things are changing, the market's slowing down. Everyone's still hoping that they're gonna get a great offer in, and so I would just suggest put everything in writing.
okay. Awesome.
Cool, man.
Well,
Thanks
Thank
for,
you,
thanks for
Rob.
coming out.
Thank you for having us.
Yep. Emmanuel, what's up, man?
Hey, how you doing, Rob?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you. A couple quick questions. First, I would like your opinion on the LLCs. I'm starting out, and I guess the first question, since I'm starting, is it absolutely necessary to have an LLC once you sign a contract?
Okay, if you're just starting and I had to weigh which one was more important, getting a deal or getting an LLC, always get the deal. Shoot for the deal. You can do stuff without an LLC. It's fine. Now, if you're at the point where you want to get an LLC, maybe you've done a few deals here and there, and you're really wanting to get an LLC, the answer is yes, you should have an LLC in the state you do business. Now, how do you do that? Okay. Okay, I'm pretty tech savvy. Let's see if I can figure out a way to draw it.
And maybe when you answer that question, you can kind of answer the second question because it's relevant to that. I'm in California. In a couple months, I'm thinking about going to Texas. So is it necessary to get one in California and in Texas, or what would you recommend at that point? Should I wait? What would you say? I'm looking into the Texas market right now.
Okay, sure, I can answer that. Give me 1 second so I can admit all the people who are in the waiting room. All right, so have you been following Pace at all regarding PCS, Prime Corporate Services?
A little bit. I was going to
Yeah.
ask you as well on that.
Sure. So in sub 2, we typically recommend for most people to use Prime Corporate Services, which is a company that sets up LLCs. They do accounting. They can help you with building corporate credit for your LLCs once you open them up. They can help you with trust, setting up a trust for yourself. That's all obviously higher level stuff, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So can I do this? All right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have my iPad and my pen with me, my Apple Pen. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to draw it out because I typically understand things better visually. So let me erase a bit because I actually just did a similar demonstration, but in your case, it's a bit different. Are you going to continue doing business in California, or are you going to not be doing business in California anymore?
Yes, and that was the choice that I wanted to make this week, since Pace did recommend to, if you want to buy and hold in the future, choose a market that's a little bit more, not as restricted. So I was thinking about maybe doing Texas and focusing in that, because I'm not doing any business now. So I was thinking of doing remote in Texas. That's what I was saying. Should I get a LLC here in California, and in 3 months when I move to Texas, get one there? That's why I just want your recommendations on that.
Okay, are you going to be doing business in Texas?
That's my intention, is to do business
Okay.
in Texas and do it remote.
Are you going to be doing business in California?
I might, before I leave in 3 months, I might do it here. But depending kind of what's the deal with the LLC, maybe I just should focus on Texas. But if
Okay.
it's open to do it here, maybe I can do it here before I move there.
Once you move to Texas, will you be doing any business in California?
I don't think so.
Okay, so here's what I would do. All right. This is 2020
Hmm.
digital info, all right? But I don't have my iPad. My kids are watching. I had to keep my kids quiet while I'm working on this, so I had to give them the iPads. And so, you just got to make do when you're a dad. And all right, so what I would recommend, there's a few states where you can have a holding company where that holding company will give you anonymity, which means you don't want your name on the business, right? Why do we want anonymity? Suppose you had a renter who did something stupid in your property, and then they came after you for it. They blamed you for it, right? Pace tells a story about how he had a renter in his property who was having fun with his with her boyfriend, and she saran wrapped the toilet, and he went and peed on it, and pee went everywhere, and she thought it was hilarious. She videotaped it and put it on TikTok. They had that video recorded. Anyway, this was in an upstairs bathroom. After they had their laughs, she wadded up the saran wrap and flushed it in the upstairs bathroom, which caused the toilet to overflow, went down through the floor, and flooded the downstairs, and called the next day and said the house has mold in it. Took him to court. Pace had to go, well, not Pace, but the landlord had to go to court, right? And at court, the landlord pulled out the TikTok video and made it clear that this was your own problem. And that renter got really mad in court and said, I demand to know who the owner is, because she couldn't find him. So you can go into your state's business registry and you can find who owns the LLC. But if you have a company that owns your LLC, or a holding company in a state that gives you anonymity owning your LLC, then there's no way they can find who you are. So
Right.
it protects you. Because the other problem with this renter was that her boyfriend was a convicted felon. How would you like a convicted felon knowing where you live, where your kids live,
Right. It's dangerous.
right? So that's why we talk about anonymity, yeah?
Got it.
So there's 4 states or so, Delaware, one of the Dakotas. You can look them up, states that have anonymity for LLC, right? Wyoming is one of them. Wyoming's close to me. I picked Wyoming. You can pick whatever you want. Talk to an accountant, talk to an attorney about all this stuff, right? Nevada. Yes, Omar, thanks. Here's how I would do it if I were you just starting out, okay? First, get your Texas LLC. Have PCS do this for you, okay? 2 companies. One in Wyoming, one in Texas. PCS will do this for you. It's a little bit on the expensive side, right? I think this one's like $300 and this one's like $600, roughly, something like that, right? Have PCS set these up for you, because then they become the people on the documents and your name's not on there. You understand what I'm saying? So you have anonymity. This one's anonymous and this one's anonymous. And the connection is anonymous because PCS sets it up for you, right? Now, you're in Texas, you have a Wyoming holding company, you have Texas holding company. When you're starting to do business, you can put all of your business into this. You're probably going to be wholesaling, I'm imagining.
Yeah.
At the beginning. So all of your income comes into the Texas company. Okay? As you grow, my hope for you, Emmanuel, Eric, Joe, all you guys, is that you grow and you're starting to do some serious business, right? what you want to do is you want to make your Texas company become a holding company. And the way you do that is you want to split up your different operations. So you'll start another LLC here that is for WH wholesaling. Okay. You want to have a separate company for your fix and flips. And you want to have a separate company for your buy and holds.
Hmm.
Why? Why? Any
There's
idea why?
different liability for each one.
Different liability. The income is earned differently. Right?
Hmm.
The income is earned differently between all these three, and you get taxed differently on each one. You understand? You're taxed differently on the money you make on a wholesale than the money you make on a buy and hold. This one's tax advantaged. This one, not so much, right? Because this is short term. You're holding typically for shorter than 2 years. You have to pay capital gains, all that sort of stuff. Earned income, you're taxed at earned income rates,
Hmm.
okay? So that's why you slip, it makes it easier for your accountant to do your taxes that way. When you're a baller and you start to do multiple buy and holds, then you do multiple LLCs, right? So that you spread your risk. Because what if you had all your properties, well, let's say you had 100 properties in one LLC and you got sued. Well, then all the properties in that LLC would be presented in court for as collateral, right? And you don't want that. But if you
Right.
separate each one, then the house that's in this LLC is the one that holds that LLC and gets sued.
Makes
Okay,
sense. Makes sense. So to get two LLCs, one in Texas and one in Wyoming.
yes, I would recommend you call PCS. Yes, they're gonna charge you for it, but if you want quality, they do a good job.
Got it. Got it. And the main one you said is Texas?
So do the Wyoming becomes a holding company, right?
Okay.
It's an LLC, but it's called a holding company. And all this company does is holds other companies. So let's say you're doing wholesaling and you want to do wholesaling in Texas and Arizona. Well, then you have to have a whole nother branch like this in Arizona.
Got it.
You need to have one main LLC in each state that you do business in.
Got it. And
This is-
Texas cannot be a holding company?
Yeah, so the way I think about it is when you're first starting out, this is the LLC you do business in, right? But eventually you can make this a holding company. You turn it into a holding company that holds all these other companies.
Got it.
You got it? And the same thing happens in AZ.
Cool.
If you own a property in a state, you need to open an LLC in that state.
Makes sense.
And then it's owned by the Wyoming company.
Makes sense. Cool. Cool.
Okay.
Thank
In
you
the
for your
future-
recommendation.
Sure, in the future, okay, when you have a lot of this stuff built out, you really need to consider the next level up. And that's a trust.
Mm.
Okay. If you get sued here, maybe one day somehow they'll figure out how to get to this level, right? And maybe they'll sue you and they'll figure out how to find out this level. But this is not penetrable without a court order. That's the only way people can find out who owns a trust. There needs to be a court order. It's a big deal. Not easy to get information on who's the owner of a trust, okay?
Got it. Perfect.
this
Makes
is-
a lot of sense.
Yeah, so there's a lot to talk about here. I'd be happy to, I mean, this is all I know.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna call Prime so they can help me and set that up. Because I've done LLCs before, they're not that difficult, but maybe something like this is a little bit more complicated and using their name is gonna be better.
Yeah,
to-
Prime does a great job. I will recommend typically, all the sub students like to use Prime because they kind of have an idea of what we're trying to all accomplish through anonymity um, and reducing liability. Okay. Let's talk about 2.0 now. Okay. Life structure. So we talked about how you set up your businesses, right? In real estate. That's what we were talking about just now. That holding company I was talking about, for me, for example, holds in Texas, holds an electric company, holds another fix and flip company, holds an assisted living company. They're all owned by the holding company.
¿A dónde lo mandaste?
You understand that?
Yes.
¿Ok? No.
All right. Sorry, I didn't mute everybody. Let's talk about the next thing you have to think about. A life setup, okay? How far down can I go? Again, I'm not an accountant. I'm not an attorney. All the disclaimers that you guys know are grown-ups and you guys have to take care of your own stuff, okay? All right. Here's how you want everything going into your holding company, right? And in turn, your holding company is owned by your trust. Okay? Everything flows down into your 1040 when you file taxes. Personal taxes, right? On this side, this is your income side. So this is typically where you have like a W-2 job, right? Goes into your 1040. If you own an LLC that's active, for example, my electric company, it's an LLC, I file as an S corp. It's on this side, okay? On this side is the asset side. Okay, on the asset side is where you have companies that you hold real estate in, right? Active income, passive income. Okay, keep them separate. You got to keep those things separate. This is the way, there's a great channel on YouTube. I'll have to think of what his name is, who explains this very well. But on this side is your ass does the work. On this side, your assets do the work. Okay, keep them separate. They're taxed differently. Your liabilities are different. Okay, let me admit someone else in. Okay, your ass does the work here. Your assets do the work. Mark Kohler, perfect, Eric Smith. That's the one I was talking about. Mark Kohler on YouTube does a fantastic job doing this stuff. Mark Kohler and his team, Main Street Business, Kohler and Solar Law Firm, something like that. They're attorneys who do taxes too. They are also good at doing the same stuff PCS does. However, they're quite a bit more expensive than PCS. Okay,
Got it.
go look that up. It's fantastic. Protect yourself. Always protect yourself.
That helps a
And-
lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you want to make as much money as you can, so you want to be tax advantaged as much as possible. Yes, that's what it is, the trifecta. Perfect. Did I answer your question kind of, sort of?
Absolutely, yes. You gave me that clarity. I do appreciate that. Thank you, Rob.
Yes, sir. I'm happy to help, man. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, thank you.
Anybody else got any questions? Go to the bottom of the screen and hit your reactions and raise your hand, please and thank you. Emmanuel, did you have another question? Hold on a second.
I was a little confused when they were doing the comping the other day, when Laura was doing this. When we found the buyers, I already found a couple buyers. Now I want to focus on finding properties for them with their criterias. When we do comping, is that mainly comping for finding the right properties, or what's the steps? I was a little confused to find their properties that are going to be beneficial for them.
You're asking how do they find properties or how are they comping properties they found?
Yeah, so I'm a little confused. How does the process work? Once we found the buyers and know their criterias, how do we find the properties, right? They're going to be a good value, discounted, that they're going to be a good deal for them. Is part of the comping, that's how you found the best deals? That's where I'm a little confused.
Okay, so you've talked to buyers, right?
I found buyers and I did the skip tracing. Now I'm gonna get their criterias, what they're looking for. And
Okay.
after that, I want to know what is the next step? How do I find the best properties for them?
Sure. So once you talk to your buyers and your buyers tell you pretty much what they're looking for, then you go and you find those kinds of properties. And Privy has this little filter up here. Let me reset mine. Okay, so for example, let's say your buyer was someone who did fix and flips, right? You click the fix and flip one. And you know from talking to them that typically they like to buy things that are 60% of after repair value. So they need to pick up something that needs work, right? Needs some remodeling. And they're willing to buy it at 60% of ARV. That's how I got there. And we can leave the rest of this, just how it is. There's not gonna be anything in my neighborhood. I know for sure. There's not gonna be anything in my neighborhood. Let's give it a chance to work itself out. Okay, I must have a filter set up somewhere that's not liking. Sold. I wanna look at sold stuff. That's how you find your buyers and stuff, right? Nothing. Oh, fix and flip. There we go. So I know that this area here is where I do a lot of fix and flip work. Okay. Let's see if there's anything that fits my criteria. And there is quite a bit of investor activity in this area. Let's see. 699, my buyers will not buy anything that high. That's way too high. 99,000, maybe. This is a 2-bed, 1-bath. My buyers are not interested in 2-bed, 1-bath. Let's set some filters up. All right. So this is 195,000. That's how much this sold for. Is it sold? No, it's
It's
active.
active.
Interesting. I need to get a bigger screen. I need like a huge TV screen so I can have windows open everywhere. This is Zagla's property. Zagla is an agent in our area. I know her. She's a fix and flipper too. This is her property, so I'm not gonna look at this property. Okay. Let's see. This side of the freeway is also nice, but not as nice as this interior side. I like that interior part more. 3-bed, 1-bath. All right. I can see at 105,000, it's pretty good price comparable to everything else. So my property I'm looking at, 105,000 is 39% of what this one sold at. It's 52% of what this one sold at. You see that?
Hmm.
All right. So I'm pretty confident in this one. Let me get rid of the ones I don't want to see. I don't want to see pending. See active ones. Oh man, I hit the wrong one. Junk. Okay. These are the ones that sold. I think I have a pretty good price. 2 beds, 2 beds. I got a couple properties here. Yeah, I think it's a good price. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah,
Hundred-
okay, I got it. So you see properties that are similar and you see this a good deal because those properties that you have in blue, those properties sold on the
These-
7th. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So
I understand.
if all you're doing is looking at privy for this, you're gonna be sorely mistaken. You would think that looking at this house, it's 105,000, that would be a good deal and your buyer might buy it, right? I know my buyers who are looking for this type of thing in my market,
Mhm.
they will not buy a 3-bed, 1-bath that's above 80,000. You gotta start with your market, you gotta start with your buyers, you gotta know exactly what they're looking for, at what price point they're looking for. So technology is great, but you still need to develop those relationships and talk to those people to get to understand what they want, right?
Got it, got it. So in my case, since I don't know exactly, I can send them this deal, but they can tell me, you know what, that's not gonna work for us.
That is a fantastic way to do it. So in Privy, this is a CMA, right? Comparative market analysis. This is what, if you asked an agent to do, to run a comp for you, this is probably something very similar that they would send you. So you can send them this. Hey, check out this property. Here's some comparables. It's at 105. What do you guys think about it? Right? Now, let's jump in. I want to see how long this has been on the market. It says it's off market. Let's see when it's sold. Contingent. So it probably, I would call on this one. It's contingent. You never know. Right? It says off market. You never know.
Mhm.
Let's see. Why don't we make a call? Listed by. I have a feeling it's sold already, but we can make a call. Let's see if we can find Miss Cynthia Luna. Cynthia Luna, San Antonio Realtor. It's EXP. Is this Cynthia Luna with EXP? Oh, not there. Alamo Real Estate Brokers, probably. Let's call her. Let's see what happens. You guys hear that?
I cannot hear that, no.
Agents never pick up their phones.
Mhm.
This is the second dial. So that's pretty on point for agents. They never answer their phone. Just call a million times. All right. Have I answered your question?
Yeah, so just to clarify, I found the criteria of the buyers. I go to the preview, go to fix and flip. And then I find properties that I see that is gonna be a potential. Then I find a couple comps active that sold, and I think it's a good deal. Then I talk to the buyers to see if that's gonna work for them. Correct?
That's a great way to start. Yeah.
Cool. You answered my question. Thank you so much, Rob.
Fantastic, man. I'm happy. Glad I can help. Is it Johan?
Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, that's pronounced it right. Can
Fantastic.
you hear me clearly?
I can hear you. What's up, man?
Yeah. So super interesting stuff as to what you're talking about. In regards to the Wyoming LLC, say for example, like the way you have it structured, or the way you best advise, would it be to basically have a Wyoming LLC, and then whatever you flip or wholesale, have a separate LLC depending on the state that you're in? And everything that you want to hold, you just push it back to the Wyoming LLC. Is that what you're saying?
Kind of, yeah. So your LLC becomes, your Wyoming LLC becomes a holding company. All that holding company does is holds other companies. Okay? And then what you do is you open an LLC in the states that you're doing business in. And you do all your business in those states, in those LLCs. Okay? The Wyoming company owns the company in that state.
I see. Okay, so
Everything
that
is-
one.
Yeah, everything's owned by the Wyoming LLC.
Have you done business with, say, for example, you're in California and you have an LLC in Florida? Have you done business, from state to state using a different LLC from a different state?
Yeah, so let's say you live in California, you have an LLC in California, and you want to do business in Florida. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, so typically what happens is you have to file what's called a foreign entity LLC. You can do it. There's complications and paperwork and tax rates and all that stuff. You can do it. Your accountant might not be super happy about it, especially if you're doing a lot of numbers in both states and all sorts of mixing and intermingling. They don't like it as much. It's much easier for them to be, follow the rules in one state and one LLC. This is for mostly for accounting purposes.
Right. That makes sense. Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Mr. Gilberto. Go ahead and unmute, sir. I'm sorry, I can't hear you, Mr. Gilberto. You gotta click unmute on your screen.
Hello.
There we go.
Oh, I can see you, man. I was looking into another thing. Just have a quick question. Hopefully
sir.
you can help me out. Okay, I'm here in California, I'm doing this in California, and I'm also an agent, okay?
Yes, sir.
So I have in contract a property, which I'm trying to do as a subject to. They have an FHA loan currently, and I'm trying to take over the payments. But I don't have an escrow title company. I used to have one, but they don't do business anymore because they say they got like some banks trying to get whoever's doing the trying to do the subject tools and trying to stop doing those. So she said, we don't do those anymore. So I don't know if you have experience or you know anything about that, or you have an escrow and title company that can help me to do this transaction. The property is in Bakersfield.
Sure. So you're in California, you're looking for a title or escrow company who understands creative things.
that can do a subject to transaction.
Sure. I don't have any direct contacts, but what I would recommend doing is going into Facebook, into the creative real estate with Pace Morby group and post your question in there. We have a lot of students in that group who are in California and they know those contacts directly. They would be able to help you much better than I would. If there's any questions at all, please DM me straight on Facebook or Instagram. And I can put you in contact with those people too.
Okay, so I write you a DM in Facebook. That's what you're trying to say to me.
That would be fantastic. Yep, you can go into Facebook or if someone can put contacts in the side chat. But yeah, my contact name is right on the screen. You can go right
Okay.
into Facebook, search for my contact, DM me what you need, and I'll do my best to put you in contact with someone who can help you in your
Yeah,
local
because
market.
I'm already in contract, actually, kind of in contract. I'm in a counter offer, so I need to send her back, the contract and all the disclosures in order to make it real. And explaining to her how it's gonna work the subject to with the contract. But I don't
Great.
have the escrow company right now. That's my feedback,
Yeah,
and they don't know how to do it. The agent, other side, don't have an idea. So that's why I want to handle it in my own escrow where I don't have one.
fantastic. If you look in the side chat, Fernanda put the link to the Facebook group there. You're welcome to go into there and post your question or DM me directly. I'd be happy to help you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, man.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
No, pretty much, that's my question. And if I need documents I have some documents for the subject too. But if I have any need for subject to, you can help me or who should help me? Because you are the one who's in charge of the California group, no?
No, I'm one of the Elephant Group leaders.
Yes,
And this group is open to anyone across the country who's working the Elephant Challenge.
yeah, I was there, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah,
But there was
definitely.
there were leaders in each group and I was in the group of California. So
Yeah,
that's why,
all that got changed around unfortunately, and we're still trying to work it and make it better. Yeah, DM me or post your what you need help with in the Facebook group. And
okay, I'm gonna DM
someone will reach
you
out to
and
you.
I'll do the other thing as well. I put it in a Discord, but nobody answers, so I'm gonna try this way.
Fantastic, yeah, no
Thank you,
problem.
thank you, thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Mr. Eric, how are you, sir?
I'm good. Um, my question is finding buyers. I've gone down in there and I've found things that look like they're fix and flip. I'll get the LLC. I go and I search it, and a lot of these you got to dig down, and I'll find myself having to become detective and get their name and then go look for them on Facebook and everything. I've only found one buyer that's actually responded to me and gave me a buying criteria. So could you run through one and just start and find a buyer real quick and just to see if and I don't know, I don't have skip tracing and none of that yet. So
Okay, you're trying to find buyers and you're wanting to wholesale to them?
yes,
What market
Yeah.
are you in?
I'm in San Antonio. I've
Okay.
been doing San Antonio and Saline and Dallas areas. So just,
All
pick
right,
one.
here's an easy way to find buyers, okay? Facebook. San Antonio wholesaler. And then you go down on this side to groups. All right, here's
Mhm.
one group with 14,000 members.
Okay. So join that group and just,
Check out how many there are.
Yeah.
Invest San Antonio wholesale investors. Private.
Yeah,
Ask to join the group.
yeah,
Texas wholesale real estate deals, buy, sell, trade. And then what you do is, I am a wholesaler in San Antonio. I have properties. Oh, I'm trying to admit someone to the group, just a second. Okay, I have properties in my pipeline. Looking to assign to end buyers. What are you looking for? Post like different variations of that, obviously, word it however you feel comfortable saying it, right?
right. Okay,
You know, you'll get some feedback from that.
good.
Do that a few times in all the different groups, you know? It's a great way to
Right.
get started.
Yeah, I was going to try and find fix and flips and see who the buyer was, and then going and looking them up, trying to look them up online and then get their name. And I mean, it's been kind of crazy for me, but
Yeah,
that
well,
looks much easier.
the thing with, you have to remember with buyers is you're never gonna have enough buyers.
Mhm.
You know, grow that list. So you're gonna have to eventually develop several lists, several databases, right? One is buyers of single family. One is buyers of mobile home parks. One is X and Y, right? And then you're gonna have to have a whole nother database for, you know, wholesalers in San Antonio, fix and flippers in San Antonio, GCs in San Antonio, electricians, yard guys. These are databases that are an ongoing process that you're gonna have to make up and develop and keep up,
Right.
because you never know when you're gonna need someone for something. And eventually, as your progression happens, that sort of gets narrowed down. The pool is always there, but it gets narrowed down, right? So, Ms. Tori, I'll approve your message on Texas wholesale deal. Okay, awesome. I didn't even know that. But now we have Tori helping us. Cool. So as you progress, your list will get smaller because you'll develop those relationships with those buyers and you'll sort of narrow it down to provide those buyers the product they're looking for, right? In my personal business, I don't deal with 2-bedroom, 1 baths. I don't deal with 3-bedroom, 1 baths. I don't deal with properties that need a lot of rehab because I know I have 3 buyers. My 3 buyers will only buy this type of property, but they're in a specific demographic, right? They're physicians, they're dentists, they're lawyers. They want a certain type of property. They don't want to spend time remodeling. They don't want to do any of that stuff. They want to lock the property and rent it out the next day and be done with it. Okay, so did I answer your
You
question?
can find those buyers on like Privy or whatever to go down.
I mean, if you don't know anyone, Privy is a good way to get started, right? And that was the whole premise of Elephant Challenge is like, I don't know anyone because I've never done anything in real estate except live in a house.
Mhm.
Well, this is a great way to get started. You go through Privy and you can find buyers. But of course, there are alternate ways to find buyers too, right? Go to your local real estate meetups. Some of them are just, business and sales type things. But once in a while, you'll find those meetups where there's real people making real deals, doing real work, you know?
Mhm.
Home Depot. I mean, our first contracts as an electrician in because we're originally from the Pacific Northwest and we relocated down here to San Antonio. And we found 2 of our GCs in Home Depot, just walking the aisles. Hey, what are you doing? You know, throw me a couple leads, throw me a couple, I'd like to bid some of your jobs, and that's how we started those relationships. Awesome.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Was there anything else?
No, I just went through the Prime Corp Services or whatever, but,
Good. How was your experience with that?
pretty good. They've been a little late every time I've had a meeting, but, understandable. They got other meetings or whatever leading up to go a little long, but, I do have a Wyoming one now. It was $400 and I think it's $60. I want to say $60 a year. I have registered agent, which costs about $29 for 2 for everything for registered agent. I have 2 LLCs in Texas. It costs $6.90 a piece. So I have an active company and then I have a passive company, just like the trifecta, like Mark Kohler says, and everything. So
Perfect.
yeah, it's all good. I just got to get my first deal.
Awesome. Happy hunting.
Yeah, thanks.
Yes, sir. Michael Foster, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good again. How about you, Rob?
I'm doing pretty good, man. What's up?
So just a quick question on Privy. I don't know if this is true for or for how many markets this is true, but I wanted to ask, how often do you run into bad data on Privy, such as it's not the matching beds, baths, maybe you're able to find photos elsewhere because maybe, I don't know, it pulls it from a third-party website. And how often would you say that you're checking those other third-party websites or maybe even the county assessor website?
It's very market specific. Okay. So for example, uh, I have a lot of little screens on my screen, so I'm sorry, I'm moving everything out of the way.
I'm the same way.
So here is the markets Privy is in. Everything that's in blue is active market. Right? They have active MLS level data in those markets that gets updated. I want to say hourly, but regularly. Let's call it regularly, okay? My market right here, San Antonio, is in red. MLS coming soon. That means it's usually using third-party data. That means data that's available publicly on most websites. For example, like Batch Leads and PropStream and all those other real estate names that we know of, they all get that same third-party data. Is it handled and filtered a little bit differently? Yes. But there's not very many softwares that have MLS access, right? You have to pay for it. I'm under the impression, the Phoenix MLS data access, the price of that is more than like 6 of these states combined.
Wow.
It's not cheap. In certain states, it's pretty cheap. In certain states, it's not cheap. My state specifically, Texas, it's a non-disclosure state. So that means at best, we're gonna have spotty data. So our job is to get as best data as we can. So do I use many sites to try to get the best data I can? Yes, I do. I'll use Zillow, I'll use Redfin, I'll use Realtor, in San Antonio, Propelio is sometimes pretty good. Data's not perfect, you know. We do the best we can.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, thank you very much, Rob. I'm gonna go ahead and mute myself right now.
Did I get all your questions?
You did. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome, man. Thanks for being here. Mr. Matthew, what's up, man?
Hey, so I'm in Silicon Valley for this elephant challenge. And basically what you're saying you gotta do is you go into privy, you look for the buyers and look for what they want, and then you can go for the ARV value with the 60% and lower it and higher it. And if you can't find anything, then there is nothing. Or are you saying that maybe I can go down like a different rabbit hole and Redfin or Zillow or something like that, and then I will find it?
Yeah, so Elephant Challenge is designed for people who have never really done much in real estate. It's like the first stepping stones, right? Because real estate can seem pretty daunting, and it is daunting.
Yeah, for
And
me, it's
it seems like a big elephant, right? And how do we eat an elephant one bite at a time? So this
Yeah.
is baby steps to try to get people to take action and show them that they can take action. They don't need to be afraid.
yeah,
They can do these little steps and if you do enough of them often enough, they add up, right? It
okay,
might take you a month to eat a leg,
I get
but
that.
eventually,
A lot of different content for the past 6 months.
yeah,
Different people.
yeah, I get it. There's a lot of real estate content out there and
Yeah, and I was using the Facebook method where you just you ask people if they have anything off market or MLS, and most of it was trolls. I got a couple of calls, but anything back. So what I've been trying to do now is this thing, but I was hoping I would have like a team, maybe a small team where we could like learn together and practice. Because I'm watching a whole bunch of videos and sometimes it's just going in and out instead of actually working together and somebody, this is what you need to do and this is where you find it. You know what I mean? At the same time.
awesome. Yeah, so you're more than welcome to join us here Tuesday nights where we kind of do this. And last
Yeah.
week, on Wednesday, I helped Dawn, who also had a video, and we did comping for 3 hours,
Okay.
where I showed you how to look at properties and figure out if they were
Yeah, that's
decent
kind of where
deals
I'm
or
at.
not.
I'm stuck right now with the analysis paralysis. I know that I have to go and find the buyer first, which is like reverse wholesaling from what they were teaching me.
Mhm.
And that, and then the comping and then figuring out if it's a good deal, like that whole thing. I think I pretty much get the phone call though.
Yeah, so the first step is always pick your market,
Right.
you know? Don't
So-
don't jump around market to market to market, because then you're never gonna learn your market.
Yeah.
You're never gonna figure out who your buyers, what's a deal, so kind of narrow that down. That's the first step.
Well,
Okay,
I'm new to California, so would it make sense that I'm from Queens, New York to be in Queens? Because I know the area, because I don't know anything around here.
what part of Queens were you from?
Forest Hills, Astoria.
I grew up in Ridgewood off Myrtle Avenue.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm from Orange County, New York, by Orange County Choppers, and there used to be a park there that people would go and die, and it was like one of the worst parks to ever go. And it's a documentary. I grew up 5 minutes from there. I'm like an hour from the Bronx. So
Amazing.
yeah.
Amazing, yeah. So pick your market.
So then
And
I'll
then-
just stay, if I just stay in California then, and then I can figure it out from here. Because if I actually need to go check it out, I can do it instead of actually have to pay somebody and wait for, depend on somebody else. You can't always do, you know?
Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing, right? I would recommend looking somewhere where they're not gonna hate you. And what do I mean by that? There are certain states, for example, New
The
York,
red and the blue, I know
New
what you mean.
York, New Jersey, California, Washington. I'm from Oregon too. I lived a long time in Portland,
Yeah,
and I had several properties out there, and boy, they hate you for being a property owner.
yeah,
It seems like all the laws are in favor of your tenants. It seems
yeah.
like
That's
they're
that.
giving carte blanche
Oh, no,
to
that.
screw you over,
I get that point. I just want to get started. Like I dipped my toe in the water. I got some information, and now I want to be able to apply it and ask questions at the same time. But I tried to do like a group, and I asked, and I know people have their own things, but everybody's like, "Yeah, go watch the replay." I'm like, I kind of learned different, so that doesn't really help. But I figured that I start the wholesale of where I'm at now and do what Pace said and go to the red states after that. Once I start making some money.
Awesome,
That-
yeah, and I mean,
that
it's
was-
not like real estate's impossible in California or New York, you know? It's possible.
Yeah.
There's people doing deals there. Just, you know, have that in the back of your mind, what we were talking about.
I
So,
got you.
you know, after you pick your market, kind of find out who the players are,
Yeah,
right? Find out who your buyers would be, find out who the fix and flippers are,
yeah.
find out who the
I'm in
awesome
Silicon
agents
Valley.
are.
In the Bay Area and Silicon Valley and Santa Clara, it's pretty expensive here. And I see a lot of high-end apartment complexes going up, but that's not really what you go after, right?
So typically I would say no.
Because you can't make any money because they already basically fixed it up. So what are you gonna say? Do the comp?
Exactly. You're not really looking for properties that are on market that are already fixed up, that are retail friendly,
Yeah,
right? The conventional house that's been fixed up and ready to go. That's not really what you're looking for. The
Yeah.
margins are already taken out there. All
right.
the meat has been eaten off the bone.
Yeah.
So you're looking for things that need to be fixed and flipped. If you're in Silicon Valley, it might mean that you need to drive a ways to get to maybe neighborhoods that this would make sense in.
Yeah,
If you're wanting to stay as local as possible.
all right. I'll try to get with the
But-
team and then maybe they can help me and guide me some more.
Yeah, I mean, you're welcome to join us every Tuesday. I'm happy to
I'm definitely gonna
have
do.
you on here.
Yeah,
And don't be afraid of going further out. Don't be afraid of doing this virtual. It's 2022.
Yeah,
Right? Your backyard is your phone and you can be across the country looking at deals and stuff all day.
yeah. I plan
Because-
on doing that and like going to be able to work from anywhere because right now I'm an engineer. And I really don't want to turn wrenches anymore. So that's the ultimate goal. But I just need to get over the humps first.
Yeah, exactly. And you sound like a person who might be pretty good on the phone.
Yeah, Yeah.
So maybe what you do is you team up with someone in a particular market, like a Mike Foster or an Eric Smith,
Yeah.
who is in a market and they need help. Maybe they're not good on the phone. And you're great on the phone. And you team up and you're like, hey, let's take some of these deals down together. Right? You work the phones, he'll bring you your leads. You don't have to be right in your backyard. You can be
Yeah, I feel-
across the
we're
Right.
all a team trying to create the same goal or achieve the same goal. So like, why not?
Yeah, this is all about squatting up. If it's gonna take you a year to eat an elephant by yourself, maybe it'll take you 6 months to eat it with another guy or two, you know?
I'm already 6 months in trying to study this thing from different people. I need some results. So
Yeah. Don't do you know, the analysis paralysis where you're just consuming content and not taking action.
that's what I've been doing. But after the whole Facebook thing and paying like 3,500 for one class, that the guy just left me stuck on stupid. Yeah,
Yeah, don't do
Yeah.
that no more.
I had to find somebody else, and now I'm here. So
Don't do that no more. Don't buy any more classes. Don't sign up for any mentorships. Do anything like that. Just work it.
yeah,
I think the elephant is a great place to start, the elephant challenge.
Yeah.
Get
So far-
into the, go ahead.
so far it seems pretty good because like everybody's trying to help each other out.
Yeah,
so-
so
far-
the Sub2 community is really big on collaborating.
Yeah.
And helping as much as possible. There's plenty for everybody.
Right on. I
Right?
appreciate your time. Thank you.
And try to jump into the creative real estate with Pace Morby Facebook group.
I'm on that.
Fantastic. It's a great place to go for help. There's Sub2 students in that all the time. I'm there almost on a daily basis, you know, just checking the board, seeing how things are going.
Right on. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Right? Was there anything else? Any questions? What else are you struggling with?
Me personally?
Sure, personally.
Well, I don't know. My whole thing is just trying to make the phone calls and the whole thing that Laura showed us. And then basically I rewatched it, a different version of it. And they're talking about True People Search and all these other avenues to go down
Mhm.
to actually find who the person is. So that, I don't know, that's kind of I don't know the word for it, but it's a little overwhelming, some of this stuff. And then I gotta take a step back and just breathe and think, all right,
Yeah, let's, zoom out when you think about it. I'm looking at this property. I wanna know everything I can about it.
yeah,
So let me just collect as many data points for as many resources as possible. I wanna know the owner. I wanna know who can possibly buy it from me. I wanna know who can possibly do the remodel on it. I wanna
Right.
know all these little things. And so your job is basically to collect all that information and then distill it and see, is this a good deal? Is this
Yeah.
gonna work for my buyer? And how can I get this locked up under contract?
right on.
Right.
So how would you organize all that stuff on an Excel sheet, or is there like, you said Propelio, I heard that was okay, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't really
listen,
know. Oh, old school?
start old school. You don't need to do anything complicated, right? If you're like, man, I can figure out some technology, try
Yeah.
an Excel. If
Yeah,
you're like,
I'm
oh,
really
this is,
unorganized, and then what if, like, my handwriting is horrible, so I prefer to have it like neat and nice, and I can type in a date or something and it'll pop up.
perfect, go try Excel. If you're not in, I do not like Excel. I understand technology, but Excel is just, don't like it. I've
I guess
never
all
liked it. I
aggravating
don't know what it is.
time. Yeah.
But there's options out there. REI Reply is one that I use.
Oh,
It's
let me
$50 a month.
note that. REI,
Um,
right?
yeah. Podio is a good free
Oh, that's the one I was.
software.
Yeah.
And that's like a building block one. You can kind of build your own modules and kind of make it what you want it to be.
You said REI what?
REI Reply.
Okay, and Podio for organization.
Yeah, those are CRMs,
Oh, that's it. All right,
client or customer relationship manager.
awesome.
Yeah, but don't be afraid to just start on paper. The goal isn't to have the coolest software. The goal is to
Yeah, no,
try to get a
result.
deal done,
Yeah.
So
Alright.
yeah, work on you're collecting all the information to try to build a picture of, will this property fit what
Yeah.
my buyers
Oh, you say you're,
buyers want?
right?
I'm sorry, you broke up. What was that?
You said you're an electrician, right?
Yes, sir.
So I'm an HVAC guy, so I pretty much analyze a lot of things. And I'm a building engineer, stationary engineer now.
Mhm.
So kind of got to analyze things before you actually go in and jump in, because there might be a better way to do something. So that's my engineer brain talking. Like, yeah,
I mean, I get it. If you're running your condenser lines and all that stuff and you didn't consider that there's plumbing and, a big rack in the way,
yeah,
you gotta consider all that. Same thing here. You gotta get all those little pieces of data
yeah. The
and,
troubleshoot.
and make a wiser decision about the property you're looking at. Last week, I'll try to see if I can find that. It wasn't my Zoom particularly. It was last Wednesday, Don Walker's Zoom.
Yeah.
But we comped, we spent 3 hours comping, and I think we comped 5 or 6 properties during that time, and I kind of talked through what I was doing.
Yeah, I do that.
And out loud, so people can kind of get my thinking behind the way I comp. And we found 0 deals out of that. And that's good because what you're trying to do, you have to think that it's gonna take you, 50 leads before you get a contract, let's say.
Yeah.
So you have to get really good at putting those reps in and those repetitions, so you can get through those 50 faster.
Right.
You got to get to the point where you're looking at something and within a few minutes you're like, this is not going to work.
Yeah, that's
So
all.
that you're not wasting your time on it,
Yeah.
And I know, like when I first started, I looked at all the nice houses. Oh man, look at this 800,000, $1 million house. Oh, this is this is an awesome house. Right? We
Yeah.
kind of get that wide-eyed thing, like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. But
Yeah.
but who's gonna buy that?
Yeah.
If no one's buying it, there's no reason to get it on the contract. Right?
Right.
Get those reps in, get those numbers in, get things in front of your buyers.
Yeah.
So that you can sell something. Right.
Oh, also, since you guys are sub-2 students, I pay like $2,700 in rent in a fancy apartment. Is there any way I could figure out a way that I could take over someplace that's like maybe 2,700 a month, that I could build equity in? I'm not sure how to go. I watch videos on it, but I'm not sure how that goes.
Yeah, so you're trying to find a property that you can move into and you want to take over it in a
Yeah,
creative
like a
way.
duplex, so it pays for itself basically, and then do it again.
Yeah. Do you
yeah.
know what market you'd be interested in?
Like South Bay, Silicon Valley.
Okay, how many of those particular properties are in the area you're looking?
I don't know. I'd have to start looking, but I just want to know if it would even be possible for me to do that with
Of
no
course it's possible.
with bad credit and like no money. I would need like the private lender, right? And then that's how Pace does it, right?
Yeah, you don't need any money. I mean, you need money. Everyone needs money, but
Yeah,
it's easier when you got money. And money is grease in the gears.
yeah.
It makes everything work faster,
Well,
work better.
I have decent income. It's just the fact that I moved cross country a few times and I'm still paying for it. But
Yeah,
I
I got that. You gotta
Yeah.
you gotta know your market, right? You
Huh.
gotta know what's on sale. You gotta know what the inventory is. You gotta know why those people are selling. What's the pain point? Would they
Yeah.
consider a creative option? If if it's something that's been on the market 6 months, a year,
Not worth it.
and
It's
the
only
price has been dropped $20,000 every month,
something's wrong with it.
that's what you're needing to target.
Oh, I thought it was like after like 3 months. That's what you want to go after.
If you're, if you're not an investor, that's
Yeah.
what they tell you. Oh, there must be something wrong with the property. When something's wrong with that property, you need to see dollar signs.
So the math.
Yeah,
Okay.
always run your numbers, make sure that everything's working out. But yeah, those properties, I mean, think about it. If you're trying to get a property sold, let's say you own a property, you're trying to get it sold, and you've been
Uh-huh.
trying for a long time and you keep dropping the price because you need to get it sold,
Yeah.
right? You moved across the country and you still have a house in New York and now you're paying 2 mortgages.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big burden. I gotta get that sold. So
Right.
maybe you started your price high because you're thinking it's 2021 and you're gonna rock it and get
Yeah.
$150,000 over asking price. And now you're realizing, oh man, it's
Fair enough.
2022 and the
Yeah.
market's taking a dump. Well, then I need to start dropping my price. And you're like, well, maybe I'll drop it like 5K or 10K. But it's been 6 months and a year and you haven't sold your house and you're still dropping it and you still need
Yeah.
to sell, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a pain point now? Is something hurting in your life? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
painful to carry 2 mortgages.
Yeah.
Call those people.
All right. I appreciate you. Thank you, man. I learned a lot today.
Yes, sir, man. I'm glad I can help you.
There's a lot better interacting with somebody than writing in the chat. And, like you get the banter going.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, I hope I'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
Have a good
Appreciate
one.
You too.
Mr. Rayhan.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir. What's up?
Okay, it's pronounced Rahan, but everybody calls me Ray.
Rahan. Beautiful.
Yeah, but yeah, everybody calls me Ray. Yeah, so it's Ray. Hey man, I love this value you're giving out. I've been on a few of these Zooms and you seem like you're one of the most patient and knowledgeable ones that I've been on. So I appreciate that, number one.
Oh, I appreciate it, man.
Number two, so I've been doing a little bit of what some of these other gentlemen have been doing as far as going on Privy, looking at sold properties in a market. For me, so far it's been Indianapolis, but I'm gonna do Tampa also. Find the LLC, skip trace a few of them, do some detective work to try to get the numbers. So a few of these, what I did was when I couldn't find the number to the LLC, I would just call the agent who represented the investor. And some of them are acting kind of gatekeeperish, where they don't necessarily want to give you any information about their investor, which doesn't make sense to me because it's like, okay, if your investor gets more deal flow, And then that seemed like it'd be more listing opportunities for you. So I guess the question is, would you even bother going that route if you can't get in touch with the cash buyer LLC yourself, as far as trying to talk to the agent that they use? Because I'm kind of finding that gatekeeper stuff a little bit.
Yeah, sometimes what you have to remember is that they can't disclose that information sometimes.
Mm,
So that might be what's going on. You know,
okay.
so how do you find buyers? Right? That's
Well, yeah.
what your pain point
What-
is.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was listening to what you told the guy earlier about going to the Facebook groups, as far as particular to the market. Now, I was told that once you go into those Facebook groups, they're overloaded with wholesalers.
Yeah.
But, right, so do you have to kind of like vet and kind of screen who's actually a buyer if you're gonna do that? I mean, I was having a little bit of success with Skip Trace and the LLCs for the privy, you know, the flippers.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, there was a couple I was like, well, let me see if I can call this agent who was involved too. But yeah, so is it true that there's really a lot of wholesalers in those Facebook groups?
Oh, man, wholesalers are a dime a dozen,
Hmm.
right? And if you call an agent and talk to them, if you can get them on the phone, they'll tell you that they get blown up 50 text messages a day from people trying to get deals from them and wholesalers and all that sort of stuff, you know?
Okay.
So.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't tell them, like if I call an agent like off of privy, like off of a flip, I don't tell them I'm a wholesaler.
Mhm.
I just say I'm an investor.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's lots of, unfortunately, there's lots of issues and people doing dumb things, and you need to protect yourself always. And be careful in those groups. But you can find people in there. Go into the another way to do it is to go into, for example, I'm part of a Texas electricians group, right? You can go into some of those groups and join them, some of the trades groups, and poke around there. Hey, you guys, I'm looking
Okay.
for someone who can do, I'm looking for a GC who can do fix and flips. When you're driving down the street and you see a house being renovated, stop, ask. I do that all the time. Oh man, this is a cool property. You guys are doing an awesome job. How much you guys pick it up for, if you don't mind me asking? You guys having a hard time finding painters or anything? Electricians? Just act friendly, you know? And after a few minutes, sometimes they're tradespeople, they can be a little rough at first, but if you're like, man, you guys do beautiful work, can I see some more of it? Oh yeah, come on in. We get that all the time.
Okay.
Home
Awesome.
Depot. Home Depot. I copy down all the numbers, all the GCs I see. General
Awesome.
contractors. That's a way to do it too.
Okay, cool. All right, appreciate
It's just,
that.
yeah, there's not one way, obviously. Privy, what we're trying to show you with Privy is that it's not that complicated. It's possible to find these people. And obviously there's more than one way to skin the cat. There's lots of ways to find buyers and there's lots of ways to find contractors. Wholesalers are on every corner. But there's ways to do it, right?
Yeah, the main thing with like the privy buyers, the reason why I was being so particular there is if I'm going out and doing agent outreach, you know, the other aspect of the privy thing,
Mhm.
then I kind of want to have an idea. Okay, if I'm gonna make an offer on something, I want to know I got at least a few people who are interested in this before, you know, maybe they won't be, then I have to go further to find a buyer, but I would like to at least know okay, I'm not just going out totally blind. I got at least 10 buyers who have expressed, yes, I'm buying these kind of properties just to, that I've actually talked to, that I can actually send those to, and then nothing happens there, and then, you know, you can go other routes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. And if you're picking the right kind of property, you know that you're gonna have an easier time finding a buyer for it, right? So if you're looking at, for example, in San Antonio, I get a lot of 2-bed, 1-baths come across my desk. A lot of them, but no one wants them. No one wants them. So I'm not gonna even if it's a great deal, I'm probably not gonna buy that. I'm not even gonna look at it. Now, if it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, that's like 1,700 square feet in a neighborhood that's pretty decent, there's a much bigger buying pool there, right? So that's gonna be easier for you to find someone to purchase it from you, right?
So is that just a matter of looking at, like, okay, if you, like, for example, I'm just staying on Privy just simply because that's what the Elephant Channel is based on, and, you know, there's other ways to find properties and buyers, but
Of course,
so
that's,
is it
I mean,
just a is
that,
it
yeah,
just a
that's
matter
what
of
that's what Elephant Challenge is. It's just a matter of
right.
the simple stuff. You're in Indianapolis?
Yeah, is it just a matter of, like, let's say, looking in a zip code? 'Cause that's what I've been doing. Looking at what was sold in like 6 months, the last 6 months, and just seeing what are the most frequently bought type of fix and flips
Are you
in
seeing
certain
my
zip
screen
codes.
here?
Yep.
I just Googled Indianapolis real estate market statistics,
Hmm.
trends,
Yeah,
median
I'm
list
looking.
price. Should you be looking at for Elephant Challenge, realizing that it's a beginner's type of thing we're talking about? Would it be wise to be looking at properties that are 500,000 or 750,000?
Nope.
Probably not. You know, 3-bed, 2-bath is what the typical properties in Indianapolis is selling at, right? A list price of
Is that
around,
the final? Is that the final retail living person that's living there, or is that somewhere else in the process, like the investor buying it, or is it all of them? Like a
this is
conglomerate of all of
everything.
them?
So
Okay.
this is everything that's been happening in the Indiana real estate market,
Hmm. Yeah.
right? People want 3-bed, 2-baths at around
Right.
this price,
That's a
right?
gem. This is a gem right here.
Yeah.
Indianapolis real estate. Yeah. Okay.
You have to know your market, right? When it's pick a market, so obviously pick a market, but it's not like arbitrary where you just jump in and kind of, I mean, yeah, jump in and figure it out as you go. But here's a tidbit. Figure out what is selling a lot in your market, because you're gonna have a huge buying pool for it. Right?
Yeah.
The majority of people in Indianapolis, this is what they want.
Yeah. That's a nice little nugget. Didn't even think about that. That's perfect. So as far as buyer psychology, how much, I mean, I know we're, you know, okay, we're basing all this off of Privy. I know we're trying to determine how much of what percentage of the ARV the buyer wants to buy at, but is there as far as their psychology of the buyer, is there like a specific number below that list price that you should try to lock that thing up at, where they think, okay, I don't have a problem buying this because it's on market and this is what it was listed at. I don't have a problem buying this from this wholesaler. Like
So yeah,
30K, something like that. I don't know.
it depends on what your buyer wants, and after you've worked with them and built a relationship with them, you ask, they'll let you know, like, hey, I don't want to buy anything that's above 60% ARV. Or I don't want to buy,
Regardless of the list price.
regardless of the list price, if if when they sell it fixed up, they can only get this amount, then you'll know that you can't buy above this amount.
Right, but what I'm saying is, are they gonna have a problem with, okay, let's say the list price was in fact 60% of ARV. But you don't lock it up at that much of a discount of the list price. Do they still want, well, like, hey, well, why am I going through you? Why can't I just, you know what I mean? Even despite it being at that percentage of ARV that they're targeting, there's still a number that they want it below list price if they're gonna get it from the wholesaler.
No, so if you're bringing something to your buyer that's on market, usually you're gonna have to lock it in contract below what it's listed at. Or else you're not serving any purpose,
Exactly, yeah.
right? So that's where it comes to, like, I found this property, I know my buyer wants this kind of property. They're asking let's say it's worth $200,000, they're asking $100,000. I'm calling the agent, I'm calling to try to work a deal with the seller, and maybe I can lock it up at 80K. Right? Now you have value. Now you can bring it to your buyer and be like, hey, I can get this property to you at 95K or 90K or whatever it is. Right? And you have a little bit of a spread there.
So just what I thought. So you're combining finding it at the ARV, the percentage of ARV they want it at, plus the value, plus some value in there, which gives you a little bit of spread too. That's the wholesaler.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. The funny thing is, I've been on the Zooms, I've been in all the Elephant Challenge video, and I never really heard anybody clarify it like that on both sides. It was they were either talking about the percentage of ARV or the value of getting it below list price. But you're the first one who basically verified that you need both.
Well, yeah, I mean, think about it. Let's say you found a property that it can ARV at 200,000, right?
Mhm.
And your buyer's like, I'm not gonna buy anything that's 55% or whatever, 60% ARV. So let's say it's listed at 120, which kind of seems to match their requirement, right? They don't really have a use for you because they can just go directly to the listing agent themselves and lock it up under contract. But let's say you can get that property that's listed at 120 for 80K. And after all your closing costs and everything, you're gonna have an assignment of 15K if you sell it to them at 100K, which is $15,000 to $20,000 cheaper than what it's listed at. Now you've provided value because you're taking a commission for yourself. You're taking a wholesale assignment fee for yourself, and you're selling it to them at less than what it's listed at. Would a buyer find that enticing if that's the property they're looking for? Absolutely.
Okay.
Right?
Perfect. Perfect. So ultimately, once you get your discount off of list price, or you just want to make sure you're at whatever you're presenting it to the buyer at to buy it from you, you want to make sure it's at the ARV that the percentage of ARV that they want to be a habit at, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not always percentage. That's one way to evaluate a property, but it depends, right? It depends how much work it needs. Is it a gut job or is it just something that needs paint and carpets? Because that's not always going to be the same ARV, right? Because there's
Exactly.
different
Yeah.
margins there. So it really helps when you talk to that's why we always recommend start with your buyer, see what they're looking for. Because I'm not gonna bring a full gut job to my buyer, to my buyer particularly. They don't care about percentage of ARV and all that sort of stuff. They want it, will it cash flow? Can I get it creatively? Those are So there's different criteria, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's why I want to talk to buyers, because I don't want to just go in there throwing darts at properties that's active and just looking for random discounts without knowing who am I serving this to? Who's my customer?
Exactly.
Who wants this? Yeah, so yeah, that's why I wanted to focus at least this first week or two on getting and talking to the buyers and then go from there. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I mean, I'm looking at your market statistics. 8.5 million was the highest listed price. I mean, how many buyers are you gonna have for that?
Not
Yeah.
many. Yeah, all right.
Not many. All right,
All right.
man. Thanks for coming out. I appreciate it.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Emmanuel, yes, sir.
Rob, a couple questions that came up. Since you're in the Texas market, maybe you can clarify for myself, since that's the market I'm thinking about going. And let me know if the logic that I have this is right or incorrect. But my logic, let's say going into Austin, since the Austin properties the last couple of years has gone up in appreciation a lot, my perception is that if there's a big crash or 2023 is going to go down a lot as well. And there's going to be a lot more house in the market, and there's going to be a lower profit margin for the fix and flips. So then I was thinking, well, maybe if I go to Austin and not Houston, obviously going to be affected, but not that much. And that's why I thought maybe I focus on Houston instead of Austin. Those are just perceptions based on the research that I've done. That's why, since you're in that states, maybe you can give me a little bit more clarity. Am I thinking correctly? Should I start thinking going to a market that is a little bit more stable, like Houston, or am I totally off with my logic here?
All real estate is in cycles. There's good years, there's bad years, right? What does the Austin market look like? I honestly, I know, but let's pretend I don't. Austin real estate statistics. Austin Board of Realtor market statistics. All right, median sale price. This, hold on, let's see. August, is that the most recent? Why so big? All right, so this is Austin Round Rock Metropolitan Statistical Area, right? Median sale price. About 500, up 5%. Is that a positive sign or a negative sign?
Positive?
I think it's pretty positive. Prices are going up. That's good, right? Look at this. Closed down 23%. In other words, the market's dropped 23% in terms of volume, closed
Mhm.
sales, right? That's not so good.
Right.
Okay. Will I have an easier time or a harder time selling in this market? I'm just thinking out loud.
Oh.
I'm talking through you. I'm being overly deliberate, okay? To me, this is a bit of a negative. I'm gonna have a harder time selling things, right? Means I have to get stuff at a better discount than I have been getting up until now, right? When the market's going up, a rising tide raises all ships, right? Even if you didn't know what you were doing, you still made money because
Mhm.
everybody was making money and it was ridiculous. It was foam. Everything was going crazy, right? When the market goes down, you have to know what you're doing, right? All of those penny wholesalers who never made a logical decision are gonna get pushed to the wayside, right? Because they're not gonna be able to make money in this market. Days on market is going up. This is concerning because you wanna be able to get stuff under contract. So you might say, oh man, days on market means I kinda see this as a positive. because it means more people are hurting. It's taking longer for people to sell their houses.
Hmm.
And we know that the majority of real estate that happens is conventional. Homeowners selling their houses, moving, right? So if it's taking them longer to sell, is that a bigger pain point for them? I think so. What if you're being relocated? I come across all the time. San Antonio is a big military city. People get relocated all the time. They need to
Mhm.
sell their house and they need to sell it quick. And it's been on the market for 3, 4, 5, 6 months now. There's pain point there. Right? New listings are down. People are staying in their houses longer. Active listings. So it's getting harder to do stuff in Austin. Right? There's more listings, less sales, there's more inventory on the market. Inventory is going up. It's now from 2 months to 3 months. Volume of dollar sales has dropped 14%. So there is negatives in the market, but there's positives too, right? Prices are going up. Can I get a deal? So, there's lots of little things to consider. Right? I can't give you Austin's gonna be great for the foreseeable future. Another thing to think about is migration into Austin. Austin is number 11 in the list of cities with the highest net migration of workers between 2020 and 2022. Is that positive? I mean, there's 300,000 people who moved in 2 years. Where are you gonna put all those people? There's a lot. If you look at any picture of Austin, Austin's not the same now than it was 2 years ago. It's a completely, there's so much construction happening in Austin. It is absolutely crazy. Is there still rundown houses in Austin that need to be fixed and flipped? Yep, a lot of them. Neighborhoods of them. Developments, whole developments that are 30, 40, 50, 60 years old that need to be redone. So there's still possibility. There's lots of possibility in every market.
Mhm.
Does it mean that you can't do a deal? No, you can do deals there. You gotta buy at a better discount. You gotta know exactly what your sellers want. You gotta have your sellers, your seller, your backup seller, and their backup seller, and their backup seller lined up. So that when you close the contract, your seller's there. They know.
And Rob, that's what I was saying, that maybe in 2023, maybe it might get a little worse, the numbers that we saw, maybe. So that's why I asked you, do you think if I go to Austin, see, it looked, the numbers that I saw was a little bit more stable. Do you think if I focus in 2023 more on that market, you'd be a little bit, I guess, less challenging if I focus on the market than in Austin based on the numbers that we saw?
So Warren Buffett said, the best time to buy is when there's blood in the streets, even if it's your own blood. 5 years from now, do you think the real estate market is gonna be higher than it is now or lower? It's probably
Higher.
gonna be higher. So does it mean that, I mean, personally, I think when everyone's talking about selling is when you should be thinking about buying. Right? Everyone's talking about selling and they're worried right now and they're all freaked out. Now's a good time to keep your eyes open and learn new skills that are gonna help you become a better wholesaler, become a better buy and holder. Maybe you get into fix and flips. Whatever it is, get better, learn more. Maybe learn some creative options. If you can get into something where you're putting very little money out of your own pocket and you can buy and hold it, that might be a good idea. You know,
And since you're in Texas, Rob, and if you had a choice to choose between Texas or Austin, which one? I'm curious, which one would you choose based on your knowledge of those markets?
between Houston and Austin,
Houston and Austin, yes.
Well, thanks, darling. Um, so. Houston population. Houston, hold on. Is it Houston MSA population? So Houston MSA in 2022 was 6.6 million. Okay. I know the answer, but I'm just showing it to you. 2.28 million. You think you're gonna have, where you're gonna find more deals? You know, if there's 6
Houston.
million in one place and 2 million other place, it's a numbers game, right?
Got it.
Yeah.
More.
Houston's a big city. Houston's one of the biggest cities in America. There's lots of stuff happening. Are there more players in the game there? You better believe it. But if there's lots of players, that's a good sign because you know things are happening.
Right. Right. Last question on Texas, just to kind of finalize, since I'm still kind of open, right? I have not done my LLC. And I know that Texas in general, it seems like it has a little higher property taxes. Based on your experience, since I've had choice to do virtually and go to different states, should I see that as a obviously maybe a little negative factor if I want to eventually buy properties in Texas? In your experience, have you seen that as a little negative, that the property taxes are a little higher? And since I have choice to go to other markets to learn and maybe invest in buy and hold, do you think I should consider maybe other markets that the property taxes are a lot lower?
Property taxes are a lot higher in Texas. One of
Right.
the highest in the one of the highest in the countries. And that is a significant thing to consider. That being said, there's lots of opportunity in Texas. So, I mean, I can't give you a straight answer. There's things that you need to consider what are best for you.
Mm-hmm.
Are there other markets? Like, for example, people really like Florida. Florida's great. I have family in Florida. There's people moving to Florida. Florida's blowing up. But they have high property taxes too. They also have really high insurance taxes because they get storms coming through.
Right.
So, I mean, there's pros and cons to every market. You know,
Got it.
I don't really like to do states in the Midwest because I probably would never visit them and I would like to visit properties. So I'm not going to buy something in the Midwest. It's too cold for me
Mm-hmm.
and I'm never going to go there. So I'm not going to buy properties there. You know, and I'm probably not going to buy properties in outside of the Sun Belt.
Makes
Just
sense.
my personal thing. Oregon's great. There's really low taxes in Oregon, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's not a great place to own property because it's not landlord
Friendly.
friendly. Yeah.
Right. Right. So it's kind of just make a decision based on where I want to invest, and there's opportunities everywhere. It's just about making a decision and just going all in
There's
that market.
opportunities everywhere. You can make contacts and, you know, relationships and team up with people in those various places. You know, don't be afraid to, I mean, there's people in sub 2 who are living in Europe and the Middle East and they're doing deals.
Got it. Cool. Thank you so much, Rob. Appreciate always your help and your insights are very valuable. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, Mr. Eric, how are you?
Good. Last week, you did an amazing job comping properties. Could you comp a property for me? I went through, I have numbers, but I'd really like to see what you come up with. It's, whenever you're ready, it's up in Dallas.
Yeah.
155 West, KIEST Boulevard.
this look familiar?
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Alright, so Dallas has MLS data, which is great.
Yeah.
4 bed, 2 bath, 1,800 square feet. Okay. It's a nice house.
Yeah, it hasn't been renoed, so
I like it.
Yeah.
I got a little baby. I got a little baby too. Cool. No, oh yeah, look at that counter. Jeez.
yeah, a little tile broke off there. Yeah.
Needs work. Needs work,
Yep.
but yeah, it's nice. This is the
Yep.
upstairs.
I like the bonus room there. Big walk-in closet. Or office actually too.
So it's it's a 4 bedroom. Okay. Oh yeah, right here, 4 bedroom.
Yeah.
Just the end of the line. Yeah, okay. Okay. You search for spaces, open concept. Located circle driveway. One quick meal, gas range, chandelier, 4th bedroom, main office, guest suite. Recently updates include new carpet, living room, water heater. Okay. Located direct access. All right. Where's my? There we go. Okay. Ooh, had some foreclosures in it, didn't it?
Yeah, a while back.
Okay. 2005 had a 3-year at 5.65, and 2017 a 30-year at 4.1. Okay. Looks like there was a transaction here. Wow. So this sold for 140, 139, and 12 years later, it only sold for about $5,000 more. That's crazy. These guys got a great deal on it.
Mhm.
A great deal. And now, 5 years later, it's gone up over $100,000 in price. Awesome. I would love to I need to find more houses like this around me.
I'm with you.
Really low taxes, but this is, yeah. Okay, so you want to run some comps on it?
Yes, sir. Please.
See what we can do. Not much is coming up, is it?
You gotta click the all activity or whatever investor activity button there to the left
Um,
or no.
so this is, I might have my, my filters might be set up weird. So let me copy this address. Yeah, my filters were set up weird. That should give me more. No, okay, well, I guess we have to zoom out a bit. All right, I don't want to see any rentals. But it's good to know. It's not a bad price for rentals. Okay, let me get rid of the active ones. I don't want to see anything pending. If I'm going too fast, just let me know.
No, you're fine.
I want to get rid of all the 2 beds and 3 beds.
Yep.
And I see 5 beds, so let's get rid of all the 5 beds. Okay. This is an outlier because it's got 4 bathrooms.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna auto delete that. And then I want to be plus minus 10 years, so from roughly 95 to 2015 or so. I see only those two properties there. Looks decent.
Mhm.
So there's kind of an ARV, what we're going for. Let me
Yeah.
see something for a second. So
That's
these are
weird.
way far away.
Yeah. I found a
Away
couple other properties that were close, but they weren't two-story though. And I don't know how hard and fast you are on, all right, subject property is a two-story. You know, that's it. You're looking for two stories, period. You know, I don't know what. I'm not seeing, something's different with yours. I'm not seeing what the comps were on mine.
I made a much bigger circle.
No, it was real close. I mean, it was like a few blocks away in the same neighborhood. But they were 4 2s and then, but they were, you know, single stories.
Yeah,
And
I
they were
could have,
like 600,000 or not, maybe I could be wrong. I've looked at one or 10, 30 properties today, so they
Yeah.
tend to start coming together.
they all run together, I get that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you have to know your neighborhoods too.
yeah.
Like, I don't know Cedar Crest versus all these, if this
Mhm,
is the good side of the tracks or, what's going on.
mhm.
But let's pretend these are kind of good comps,
Okay,
right? I don't know this market very well. I mean, let's see, maybe I can, where is this here? Okay,
that's disturbing because I had a couple of comps there. It was like, I mean, that's why I
let's
come
try
up
to
with the
keep it
number I
within
did.
this whole area here. Oh, I need to reset it, don't I?
You sure your filters aren't still?
I don't know. Let's go back and look.
You know what? I think they were. What year? Do you have a year in there?
I didn't click on sold. Oh,
Because I think my
click on
two comps were like 2022. They're brand new houses.
it.
Or
Yeah,
no, they weren't. No, they
that's
weren't.
probably
Never
why I
mind.
got rid of them, yeah.
But they were
This
like,
is where we were originally. I mean, this is close enough, right?
right.
Um,
Yeah, I
this is
think that.
obviously much newer. It's been remodeled, looks like.
Yeah,
It's been
2003. Yeah.
remodeled.
Yep.
Okay, so
A
this
little smaller.
sold in June. This sold in June for 300,000. And this is at 270, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so unless you can get it under a significant contract reduction, I'm not sure there's any money here. You're probably negative. If you take, let's say you take 15% for market decline off of this $300,000 price, minus a $10,000 to $15,000 assignment fee, minus any work that would need to be done in the property you're looking at, it'd be tight,
Yeah.
That's-
I don't know what happened there because those aren't the two comps that I was looking at.
I mean, it's a nice place, but it's clearly 2006 and not
Yeah.
2022,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those neighborhoods where there's not a lot of good comps,
Yeah.
but that's why I zoomed out. So let's try zooming out and see if I could find something in a bigger area so we can kind of play around with the comps a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So get rid of rentals. I don't want anything. Well, I can see, let's leave the active just to look at it. Okay. And yeah, we kind of are in the same ballpark. I'll get rid of the 3 beds. I'll get rid of the 5 beds. That same one with the 4 baths. You know, it's a way wider year run. But
Mhm.
again, the prices are so close. I mean, our property is 88% of this one that sold in April when the market was way better.
Yeah. Yeah, and you got one garage, one car garage, and the other one has 0. So
Yeah. that's
yeah, but
definitely
actually,
a factor.
that's working in our favor, I think.
Yep. Yep, this one has a 1-car garage. It's funny.
Yeah, yeah.
This is a terrible facade. Look at that brick or whatever that is. Holy cow.
Hmm.
Oh my goodness. What's up? What's going on here? Is this one being flipped? It has been flipped. So they worked on this one.
Mhm.
New kitchen, new floors. Oh my goodness. Just wow. Just wow.
No, it's sold. People like that apparently. Look, did you see the shadows on the tile?
It's fantastic. It's like it's got a pink in it, looks like.
Yeah,
Wow, beautiful yard.
yeah.
My kids would love that. So, yeah, that's what we're looking at. You know, best case scenario, 300-ish.
Yeah, there's just not enough money in there to flip it. Nobody's gonna buy that. That's
Right.
one of those buy and holds where you do a sub 2 and assume the loan there that does at 4.1. It's let's see. His loan was 142,000 at 4.1 back in 2017. What's with that, how much pay down, like, is there like a ballpark you can figure at different percentages, whatever, per year, how much is left on the loan? Can you kind of figure that? Like
Yeah.
just
Yeah, you
rough
just get
numbers?
yeah, you get one of those one of those mortgage amortization calculators, and you can kind of ballpark where you're
Okay,
at.
all right. All right, well, that was a lot of wasted time. Well, not wasted time. I was learning, so
You're
that's
learning, man.
the main goal there. So
It's all good. It's all
yeah,
good.
appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Mr. Raphael.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, I'm good, pretty good. How about yourself?
I am doing pretty good, thank God.
So, I got one lead and I got pretty much like 5 buyers already. What's your strategy with talking to um realtor agents?
At what point?
You know,
What are you trying to do with them?
let's say that, you know, I got some multifamily houses that, you know, my buyers are looking, you know, acquire, you know, and I kind of have an idea what to say to the realtor agent, but I need a, you know, just like an idea like how you guys do it, you know, just to have a high chance on, you know, making a contract, you know, for the buyer, and you know, have um you know, a higher percentage to make it and go through the whole deal, you know.
Okay, so you've talked to buyers and you have a buyer who's telling you that they want to buy a multifamily.
Yes.
And they gave you a ballpark of what pricing they want per door, for example, or what price they're looking to spend, what neighborhoods, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I already got you know what like specific what they're looking for.
Okay, and you found properties that fit that criteria?
I have, yeah, but my only thing is, I think that's stopping me is that I don't know what to really say to the, the realtor. If I could talk to the seller, myself, but that's kind of what's stopping me right now. Like, what to say to an agent.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. I want to do some of those. We'll do some of those calls for sure. Just so we can get some more practice in. Maybe we'll do that next week. In the meantime, what I would do, call the agent and just try to find out about that particular property you're looking at
Okay,
and pretend that you want to buy it.
okay,
Hey, I saw this property. I'm interested. Can you tell me more about it? What's going on?
okay,
Why is the seller wanting to sell? How has occupancy been? What are the rates? What are taxes like on it? Ask as many questions, pretend you're trying to sell.
okay,
Pretend you're trying to buy. Right?
yeah,
Is there a problem with the foundation? When's the last time the AC was replaced? Ask all those questions. And it's
Yep.
okay to make mistakes, and it's okay to fumble around, and you're gonna get better over time. Right?
right,
They're not gonna kill you. Most agents are pretty nice. Okay, I saw this property. Can you tell me more about it? I see it's a 3-plex or a 4-plex. Are all the units the same? When's the last time it was remodeled? You got it.
okay. And also I had one question about my lead. So I got this motivated seller. He has pretty much like a 7-unit multifamily uh, like a apartment building. And I asked him if there were other people involved um in the building, and my question, he told me that they were ready to sell, but I asked if I could talk to them, just to make sure everybody was on the same page. And he kind of gave me like, why do you need to talk to them? I don't know if that's like
Common. It's
yeah.
common.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, agents don't like it when you talk to their seller. Makes them feel like they're not doing their job, like you're circumventing them. Most of them don't like that. In terms of the 7-plex, realize that that's a commercial property, and there's different ways to approach that, right?
Okay.
I'm assuming your buyer is interested in a 7-plex.
Yeah, but not to the area that the seller is in. So I don't know if I should send it to him anyway. And
Call him. Call him and ask him, hey, I found this I have found a 7-plex in this area. Would you be interested in something like that?
okay.
And if they're not, and if you don't have a buyer, yeah, don't waste your time.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
mean, I do have, like I said, I have 5 buyers that are, already asking me like, for leads, and I just recently I had started, doing my homework on working those leads. And I stumbled upon, the one deal that I have right now. But I didn't know if I should, like send it to him, because it's not the area that he was, one of the buyers was looking. The area was not in his
Yeah.
interest.
Yeah, call him and ask him if he's interested. If he's not interested and you don't have a buyer or anyone else lined up who you know is interested, move on.
Okay.
And a sevenplex is a little bit beyond what we're doing in Elephant Challenge, but awesome that you're taking action, man.
Yeah. I've been trying to, stay active. I've been doing my homework, and I'm like ready to, take the next, pretty much like the next step. So that's my next question. What's next after I do all of this?
So the goal is to get a property under contract and to assign that contract to your buyer. So you have to negotiate that contract, that property down to where there's enough money. There's enough of a difference there between what your buyer is going to sell it at after he does all his renovations or whatever he's gonna do to it,
Okay.
and what you purchase it at. So you remember in the Elephant Zooms, we talked about all the little things that go into determining what a property is gonna cost before it gets to the end, right?
Right.
So if you can sell it at 200, you have to consider all the renovation costs, you have to consider all the holding costs, all the mortgage that is gonna be paid or whatever it is, all the closing costs, your escrow, your title fees, all those little things have to be accounted for because those are all real costs. And don't forget to also include your assignment fee in there, whatever that is. And so you
Okay.
subtract all those things and then you get to an MAO, a maximum allowable offer. And that's where you need to get the property at.
Oh, okay.
Right.
And so
So
how do
if
you
it's
how do you
listed out, if it's listed at $100,000 and your maximum allowable offer is $60,000, what are you gonna do?
right?
You gotta work on negotiating it.
Okay.
You gotta find some pain points there. Right? But let's say
Right.
you can get it down to 60 and all the numbers work now and it looks like it's a great deal and everyone's gonna make money, then you put that under contract.
Okay. Sounds good.
Submit an offer. Seller will say, yeah, you signed the contract, and then you go to closing and you assign that contract to your buyer.
All right. And how do you find your assignment fee? Is it different from like single home to multifamily? How do you go on doing that?
So, yeah, I'll talk about single family stuff, cause when you're getting into commercial multifamily properties, it's a different ballpark, it's a different game. It's not really, percentages and stuff like that. It's done a little bit differently. When
Yeah.
you're doing single family stuff, typically in America as a whole, the assignment is somewhere around 12,000, between 10,000 and 15,000 average. There's some that are way higher than that and some that are not so high. It just depends on what you're wanting to, I mean, it's up to you typically.
Okay.
How much time and effort are you putting into getting that contract? You know, all the hours, all the time, how much are you gonna be paying yourself for all that?
Okay. Gotcha.
Awesome, man.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming out. Hey, Calvin.
Hey, how you doing, Rob?
I'm doing good, man. No camera for me?
No, not right now. Sorry about that. It's a little late here, but I had a quick question for you. I appreciate you staying on. I know it's a late night for you.
No worries.
So like I'm doing an area in Dallas, and like the way I do it is I kind of just put like a square on a certain area, and just skip trace all the buyers there, and then I start comping and finding deals like that. Do you think that's a good idea, or should I try to go off like zip code?
do you know which zip codes you want to be in? I mean, I know
Mm.
there's some zip codes that are better than others, right?
Yeah, no, yeah, but the way I do it, I would just pretty much find like an area on Privy, and then I'll just call buyers there. And if buyers say they'll buy in the area, then I'll start to look there, like just like a random like square, like near Dallas.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no like, there's not only one way to do it. If you're more comfortable doing zip codes and, you know, scouring that whole zip code for what your buyers are wanting, that's a great way to do it too. Privy makes it nice because you can just lasso it and search within a, you know, that area.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's cool to do by zip codes too. I mean,
Cool.
you know, get comfortable with your market, I guess what I'm trying to say. Get comfortable where your market, where you know, like, here's like the top selling zip codes in my market. You know,
Mm-hmm. That's a
there's
good idea.
always like, there's always people who are in your market who are, they're the statistics people, right? So in my market, it is these guys, Investor's Journey. These guys, every month, they have an update on my market, San Antonio market, right? San Antonio real estate market update. And they talk about all the little details that are, you know, all the zip codes. Oh, great. Commercial, of course. Come on. Hit this
Okay,
one.
that's a good idea.
You know, I want to
Mhm.
know what the rents are doing. Okay. I want to know what the rents are doing in my market, right? Employment and unemployment in my market, right? He's giving ideas. Here's what employment's looking at over time. He tells me like, here's the zip codes that are, you know, look at this, months of inventory. And this is all critical data to know. It's your job to know this stuff as a wholesaler.
Okay. Would you suggest maybe like going to the hottest zip codes and then just wholesaling there?
Yeah. So, okay, here's hottest price range in my market. You know, typically this area here between 250 and 400, that area that is median is going to have the highest sales. Median is a great place to start in your property, in your business. Find the median, somewhere around the median. That's where the majority of sales are going to happen, right? Let's see if I can find. So fastest selling zip codes in my area. You better believe I'm going to keeping an eye on these 10 zip codes. And it's your job to do the same in your market.
Okay, I didn't even think of that. I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I'm doing Dallas. So thank you.
Yeah. There's tons of resources out there like this. Get to know your market. Become a professional in your market. You can do it. I
Yes.
believe in you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Anything else?
No, I think that's all. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Mr. Curtis. And then I think that's the last one.
Okay, how you doing, sir?
Good. How are you?
I'm not bad, not bad. Kind of stuck with a property in Dallas. It's one of those that seems hard, just seems hard to comp. I don't know why. I think it's brick. The year is just kind of strange. I wondered if you just take a look at it real quick.
Sure.
You see the same thing that I see. It's 2501 New York Avenue.
I don't like New York. Just kidding. 2501.
Yeah, New York.
York. Oops. York. Fort Worth?
Yes.
Holy cow. My friend, $190,000 and it dropped 100K.
That's what I said, but I don't see any of that on the public records. I was looking for that. Wait,
Okay.
let me go see that.
Well, let's see what
Yeah,
we
I
come
don't,
up with. There's
I
a
don't see.
3-bed,
anything.
1-bath. 1963, 1,280 square feet, okay. We'll take a look at. Oh, won't give me, doesn't have a thing anyway. Price improvement.
No, they went up. Yeah, they went up 12,000. Look like.
This corner beauty won't last. Okay, we'll see about that. 3 beds, 1 bath, great starter home. Get your remodeling ideas. So that means it needs work.
Yes.
Beauty, lovely side, front yard covered, just minutes, stockyards, showings available starting in August. Loan approval or proof of cash required for showing approval. Okay. Turn off all lights that were turned on and lock all doors. That means it's vacant. Right?
I think they said that some of the son lives there or something until it's sold. So somebody's there until it's sold.
Yeah, it needs work, definitely. This house hasn't been, the furniture in this house hasn't been touched since the 70s.
Right.
Look at this thing. That's awesome. Check out this clock. Wow. I want one of those. Okay.
And let's see the comps.
Okay, let's, so tell me about what you're thinking about this property.
Okay, the comp that I kind of was using initially was, let me see. I think I was using the SOFA 205. Let me see. Oh, it would have been, that's kind of comparable was, where is it at?
So here's what I'll do. I'll get rid of all the 2 bedrooms because ours is a 3-bed, 1 bath, right?
Right, okay.
I'm gonna get rid of all the, look at this, went from 3-bed to 2-bed. They added a bathroom or something. Anyway. So here's all my 3 beds. Let me get rid of all the non-1 baths. Jeez, there's a lot of them. All right, so we're kind of in the same ballpark now. Let's go 1953 to 73 or so. I like these, so I'll get rid of these 2 because they're kind of older, but that's a decent ballpark, okay?
Okay.
Active ones, we'll get rid of the active ones. Okay, our base plate is clean now. So.
Okay.
Let's look at date sold. So clearly the March one's not gonna work. This is the oldest July one. This is all within roughly 90 days, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I'd like to try to stay within the 90 days.
Okay, this house right here has been flipped, probably. That's what these numbers mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which address is that?
This is 1021 Glen Garden Drive. Yeah, it's been done. It looks nice. Not great. I mean, it's just the old cabinets were painted and stuff. Why would you put a tile countertop? This is terrible. Never do that. Okay, so it's an older house, but it's been kept up and it's been painted and it's been taken care of. It's got 2 different hardwood floors, which is what it is. Okay. So it's to bring it up to this level. This was probably just a lipstick jog. That's what happened on this one. Okay.
Okay.
This one is probably in similar condition as ours. Yep. And this one is also probably in similar condition as ours, but we don't have anything to show on this one. It was probably bought to fix and flip at 110. So
No,
ours is at
what ab-
190.
Okay. Okay, the one, okay, I see the one right, well, yeah. And see the year, the build is way ahead too.
This one right here, you mean?
Yeah, okay, which one are you on? Let me see. Let me switch screens. Let me,
Built. So the way I think about it is,
okay. Yeah,
I'm typically around houses more than generally. I do a lot of electrical, I do a lot of fix and flips. I'm in both residential and construction. In residential single family houses, there hasn't been a lot of technology change between the 20s and the 60s or 70s, right? They were
Okay.
all built pretty similarly, same qualities typically.
Okay.
There is a little bit of a time difference with in terms of electrical and plumbing. But in general, it's pretty similar technology, right?
Okay.
So only after like 1990 do things change a lot. A lot more plastics introduced, Romex and all that sort of stuff, you know?
Okay. Because I was
So
always told, the 10-year rule. That's why I was, I've
yeah,
heard that.
in general, you should follow the 10-year rule. But is there a difference between a 1950 house and a 1970 house? Very little, very little. You know, I think after the 30s, I want to say after, shoot, 39, 36, 39, something like that. I can't remember exactly when they stopped doing knob and tube wiring, but that was around then. But everything after that is pretty similar, you know, quality wise. So I'm okay with like, now if it was a 2000 house, I wouldn't look at anything older than 10 years.
Right.
Because think about it, the difference in quality of just the framing, just the wood that was used in the framing is vastly different. Older houses have old growth wood and they're built much more strongly. That term, they don't build them like they used to, is absolutely true. Okay. I would be comfortable in saying these are decent comps. Yes, this is a little bit older. I get that. But even since it's older, it's still $80,000 less than the one you're looking at. You know, yeah, it's a bit smaller, 100 square feet or so, 140 square feet. Lot size is almost identical. Yeah, I just don't see. Plus, you can't, this is not, is this a lipstick repair? I mean,
It can be.
this is definitely not a
I
lipstick
mean,
repair.
no,
You
not
could
that.
paint
No,
these.
yeah, that in there. I mean, you could. I mean, I would say it's at best a medium cosmetic.
Yeah. So like, let's say all you did was a lipstick repair. If all you did was a lipstick repair, your best comp is 222.
Okay.
You know, the
Yeah,
difference between 190 and 222 is not significant enough to make this a deal.
Right.
Let's say
So,
you're able to lock this up like at 100.
Okay.
Now we're talking.
Okay.
There's enough
So
of a spread there.
Okay. What about 130 is a little too high?
I don't know. You'd have to run your numbers.
Yeah.
Let's
I mean,
let's do this. Hold on. When was this listed?
quite a while ago, man.
It's only
51 days.
51 days. Like 90 days is where there starts to be pain, right?
Okay.
It takes a month, 2 months, 3 months for people to sell the house. You know, I think that's more realistic. In my market, normal time on market is typically 3 months. So this hasn't been on there for too long.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. Got you. 90 days. Okay.
Yeah. Do I have that, do I still have that thing somewhere? so many screens and so many little things. Okay, you guys can see this, right? So, where was it? Months of inventory, 3 months. You know, doesn't scare me. So, days on market, 30 days, there we go. So,
Oh,
it's getting up there, but you know, it's not scary enough for them yet.
okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, could this
Okay.
be a deal? I mean, yeah, if you get it.
Yeah, gotta get a lot
significant
lower.
discount. Yeah.
Yeah, significantly lower. Yeah, you're absolutely right on that.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
talk to them and see if they would be open to so whenever I present a deal, I always give two options. It
Right.
is a cash offer, significantly discounted, and I tell them, you're not gonna like it, it's way low because this is the margin I need in order to make this a good deal. And the second option is, would you guys be open to terms?
Right.
Can you guys carry this? Can you? Yeah.
Right.
Novation is an option. But novation is like, it's a little bit more complicated than what we're trying to do in Elephant Challenge, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I've kind of had that approach is to, use the seller finance as a secondary option. But I haven't had any lot of reception to that yet.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard with with an agent, because sometimes they don't want to pitch that term. But be persistent about it. And, you know, if a property's been on the market for 60 days, call them and ask them about terms, put it in writing. Tell them that they should present it to their seller.
Okay.
Follow up with them in 2 weeks. Hey, my offer is still valid. You guys haven't had any traction on this. Follow up 2 weeks after that, you know?
Gotcha.
The money's in the follow-ups. In real
Yes.
estate, it's all about the follow-up.
Absolutely.
Follow up all the time.
Absolutely. Okay. Okay. Well, that's kind of what I was just want to verify. I didn't really think it was a deal. I was like, well, it's kind of complicated, but yeah, that's what I was just trying to confirm.
No problem, man.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thanks for coming out, man. Appreciate it so much.
Okay. All right.
Hey, Alex, what's up?
All right, what's going on, Rob? Last week you said something about you're able, whenever we find houses that are already fully remodeled but been on the market, that you have turnkey investors. How do you present those kind of deals? Do you present it by like, this is going to be your ROI, or this is going to be your cash on cash return? Like, what is it that you present to them?
So it needs to cash flow,
Okay.
right? Most people are worried about cash flow. And so the number one thing I typically look at is cash flow. And I like to be making minimum $300 a door after everything, and everyone is paid. If it doesn't do that, it's not really worth looking at.
Okay. All right. What about like on the cash on cash? Do you look at that, or that just as long as the cash flows?
I mean, that's important, obviously. And your buy and holder will let you know if that's important to them. I mean, we can get into cash on cash and cap rates and all that sort of stuff. But first step is, are we making any cash on this at all? Right? Cause most of the time, most of the stuff, it's not even gonna cash flow. So unless, now, that doesn't mean it's not a deal. It just matters. Like, for example, Pace talks about this where he doesn't really care. At this point where he's at in his real estate journey, he doesn't care about cash flow because he cares more about being able to depreciate that asset against all his other income. So he's not worried about cash flow. I'm worried about cash flow. Like I got mouths to feed, you know? So that's important to me.
Okay.
And I'm typically coming into a deal with very little out of pocket. So it's hard to talk about cash on cash return when the return is infinite, because I've
Yeah,
come
yeah.
into the deal with almost no money out of pocket. So $1 cash flow a month is technically an infinite return on my investment,
Yep.
right?
Okay.
But yeah, it depends. It's very situation specific. Now, there's other things to consider, like, can I turn this property into a short-term rental? Will the Airbnb real good? I mean, now we're talking about something different, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, have lots of tools in the toolbox and consider all of them. Now, I
Okay.
will say, don't go into something as a short-term rental if it doesn't cash flow as a long-term rental. If you can't
Yes.
put it up for a regular rental,
Yeah.
for example, in Texas, we got a lot of HOAs.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them don't allow you to do Airbnbs. So what if you're in an Airbnb, you're Airbnb-ing a house that's in a HOA, and the HOA turns around and is like, well, we decided we're not gonna allow you to do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can't cash flow it as a regular rental. What do you do?
Yeah.
So don't get caught in that trap
Mm-hmm.
either, because it happens,
Yeah.
you know? So
Okay. All right, man.
I
Thank you.
hope I answered it.
Yeah, yeah. This is kind of what I needed to hear because I have been coming across these houses that have been on the market for a while, and they're already fully remodeled, right? And I just keep on passing them. It's like they just kept on bugging me. It's like there has to be something we could do here. Like there's growing pain there that we could see. So might as well try to pitch something. And I
Yeah,
didn't
try to find something that's at or below, um, at or below, uh, median price. Okay? Cause you're gonna have a hard time. Remember, we talked about like a general rule is the 1% rule.
Yes.
So like you wanna have your rent be 1% of your purchase price. Now, it's not a perfect rule. It doesn't work in all situations, but you're gonna have a hard time making the numbers work if the house is $500,000 and the rents in your area are 1,500.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a hard time with that,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know? Because the
Okay.
mortgages, if there's an existing mortgage, you're not gonna make enough to pay the mortgage, let alone taxes and
Yep.
management fees. Also, consider, even if you're managing it yourself, you need to factor in a management fee.
Oh, okay. Just in case.
What
Just in
if you
case they
die?
want. Yeah.
What if you get incapacitated or something? Factor it in. Always pay
Alright.
yourself on everything as if you're outsourcing it. Okay,
Okay. All right, man. Thank you.
yes, sir. Thanks, man. All right, you all. It's late. We all gotta get to sleep. And we gotta wake up early and do some work tomorrow. Get some wins in, all right? Make some calls. Make sure you jump in on the Facebook group, the Creative Finance, Creative Real Estate with Pace Morby. If you guys need anything at all, you got stuff, you've comped, you think you got a deal, hit me up on Facebook or Instagram. I'd be happy to take a look at it. I'll be happy to JV with you guys on stuff. Bring resources to the table, get some deals closed, okay? I've got lots of people who can help us all make some fun money, okay? What else is there? Don't forget to sign up for the next Elephant Challenge coming up at the end of the month. pacejmorby.com/invite is where you go to sign up for that. All right. Otherwise, you guys have my Instagram and Facebook handle on the screen. You can reach out to me there. And go get some work done. Massive action. You guys can do it. I believe in you. All right. At the next Elephant Challenge, I have to brag and tell people my group's getting deals, okay? All right, you guys. All right. I'll see you all next week. I'll be here again Tuesday. You can catch the link. I think next week they're gonna have me, go live in Facebook too. So I'm still trying to figure out how all that works. But, we'll be here. You guys will get the link. It'll be in Discord, in the Facebook group. It'll be all over. We can possibly post it. All right?
You gonna be helping Dawn tomorrow?
I can't tomorrow. I have some other commitments at church that I can't get out of.
Okay, cool. Thank you, sir. Have a good
But
night.
yeah, I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Massive action. Get her done. All right. Have a good night.